listener.
Oh, can you believe it? It's Howie and Chief's Big Five.
Big Five.
Welcome along to the Howie Games Big Five with my man, my sporting hero who used to watch as a kid. Now I get to sit alongside in the Big Five, the Chief, Jason Dunstall. How are you, my friend?
I'm well, thank you, Howie. Some monumental tasks we had to attack again. Oh, mate, it's frustrating to do.
What did you find frustrating about this? So we're doing Australian sporting performances.
Yeah.
We are very good at sport. It's got to be said.
We are. And then you've got to weigh up individual versus team.
Yes.
Which is always difficult. Comparing one era to the next, who the competition is it a mainstream sport? So much difficulty. But you start researching some of these events, and I've got one today, Howie, that I know you won't have.
Really?
That has a backstory to it that has to be heard and listened to carefully to be believed.
I'm all ears. My understanding is we've come in here. This was my concept.
It was.
You built it with me. It was my concept. The only feedback I've been given on the show so far from the production staff, MJ, Cass and Darst, is I need to wear jeans. So I've actually had to wear long pants. And we can't say what is in it, but you are now like Guns N' Roses. You have a rider for the show.
I do not.
We can't talk about what's in it, but you come in here now and there are things put aside for you to consume during the show, Chief.
Just a drink, that's all.
So we are talking Big Five Australian sporting performances. I was proud to go back through some of these, Chief, but there's some I couldn't get in, but I don't want to give too much away. So a bit of a cryptic question. Are any of your Big Five involving animals?
No.
Okay. Well, therefore, I can say Makybe Diva and Farlap were in the midst for me, but I don't know if you can put a horse in an Australian performance. Where do you sit on that?
And then you have to check the breeding to make sure they're Australian, not just raced in Australia as well.
Right, that's right.
Well, a lot of the great staying horses too are bred in New Zealand.
Yeah. But
we regard New Zealand as part of Australia.
Well, it's like Crowder House and Russell Crowe until
correct.
Russell does something wrong.
That is a Kiwi.
I genuinely considered Makybe Diva.
Okay.
Because
it actually didn't cross my mind.
3 Melbourne Cups and it lifted the nation. That third one, when Bossy got across the line the third time.
Correct, iconic. But then how do you separate that from a black caviar or a Winx?
Or a Farlap. So it didn't go. One more before we get rolling. Do you have any form of tennis player in yours?
No.
Okay. So this was a tough one for me. The hardest one I found to leave out was Ash Barty winning the Australian Open.
That's interesting. Ash Barty, yeah. Massive. But then that was part of her ascension to the number one player in the world, wasn't it? She was a superstar who, you know what I love, retired on her own terms.
So I was tossing up with her, and then I was looking at Margaret Court. 24 women's singles titles, 64 major titles.
Yep.
I met Margaret Court, Chief, before we get rolling, many years ago working for Channel 7, and she's heavily involved in the church, which is not really my go, but she was a wonderful interview, and she was involved in a certain type of healing. And mid-interview, she asked me, "Is it a true story, Chief, whether I suffered any ailments?" And I'd hurt my PCL playing football. And the great Margaret Court, without a word of a lie, put her hands on my knee as the faith to heal my knee. Didn't work, did it? But that may be because of my lack of faith. Anyway, I thought about Margaret Court.
But again, you're comparing eras, aren't you?
Yeah, and that makes it tough because I never saw her play. Yeah. Okay, here we go with the Big Five best Australian sporting performances. Cue the stinger.
Five. Number
5! Where are you kicking us off, big boy?
I'm going back to 2011.
2011, okay.
When I still loved this sport.
Oh, that's a bit of a negative.
The sport of cycling. The 2011 Tour de France, Cadel Evans.
Barwon Head's own.
Extraordinary performance. So he's up against the likes of Alberto Contador, who's a two-time winner, Bradley Wiggins, the Schleck brothers, Frank and Andy from Luxembourg. It's the 98th Tour, 21 stages over 23 days. They travel nearly 3,500 kilometres, basically 163 kilometres per stage. Now, you've got to understand the enormity of this. Australians have never done particularly well at the Tour de France. It's basically a European sport.
75 plus Australians have competed in the Tour de France in the history of the event.
The fact that you know that means you've probably gone down this path.
I'm reasonably well researched on Cadell.
We might have some information here.
One of 3 non-Europeans ever to win the Tour de France.
Correct. And, now that the Americans have been...
Lance has been redacted, shall we say, Chief.
Correct. And that's when I fell out of love with the sport. Because I used to sit up religiously every year and watch every stage of the Tour de France.
Were you a Lance man?
Yeah, 100%. That's where I grew to love the sport.
Me as well. Armstrong versus Big Jan Ulrich.
Jan Ulrich. When he looked back at him on the Alpe d'Huez, just went, see ya, Jan.
See you later.
Amazing.
And now we know how he did that, Chief.
See, these are but everyone was on them.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes.
That's the thing
That's a whole other debate. Big Five sports
Cadell had been on the podium a couple of times, but never looked like winning and didn't. Cadell always had to do it on his own because he didn't have the strength of team support that some of the others did. He had to chase down a 4-minute breakaway on the torturous climbs of the Alps at one of the late stages. And then it comes to the last time trial, which is the second or third last stage of the Tour.
Schleck brothers.
It's Andy Schleck that's leading by 57 seconds.
Over our man Cadell.
Yep.
Okay.
At the end of the time trial.
Yes.
Cadell hasn't just reeled in the 57 seconds. He's added a minute 34.
So he's blown them
away.
away.
Destroyed them.
Chief.
Absolutely amazing. And he's the only Aussie to ever win it. And he was the oldest winner post-World War II at 34 years of age.
Phil Liggett. Here he comes, swinging into the home straight. And as he lines up for that home straight finish now, this is the winning ride of the Tour de France. Bet your boots on it. Cadell Evans of Australia makes history today, Chief.
There's some commonality here, isn't there?
There is. and lives, Chief, lives in my small town of Bowen Heads.
Yep.
And literally, like, you see him drop his kids off to school. Literally saw him 3 days ago just cruising around on a shop bike, Chief.
Really?
Just your old school bike just to ride down the shops to get some bread.
I'll tell you a funny little story very quickly.
Please do. You don't, Chief, it's the world of podcasts. We have as long as you want.
Many years ago, I used to get into a bit of riding. I used to do a lot of riding on the bike, and I enjoyed it when I was a long time ago when I was a bit fitter. But knew some guys that did a lot of riding, to the point where they were semi-elite riders. And one of them, my mate was a mate of his. He was out riding, and they were with Cadell Evans. And they were doing a ride up Mount Buller. So just training on the hills of Mount Buller. And this guy was feeling pretty good about himself. And he was on Cadell's wheel.
But it's going to take him.
And he just, Cadell's looked back, just see how everyone's travelling. And he goes, pick it up, champ. To Cadell Evans, he said, pick it up, champ.
He champed it.
Yeah. So Cadell picked it up.
And?
See you later.
Chiefy, he came on the podcast. Go back and listen to the episode. And it was one of the more extraordinary athletic feats that had ever been told on the show or ever has. I was asking about when you're at the Alpe d'Huez, what is your heart rate going at? And he said, at that stage when I'm really hammering, it's between 190, 194, 195. And the obvious question, so how long can you sustain that for? 2 or 3 minutes?
Yeah.
And he's like, 50?
Yeah, redlining it.
For 50 minutes.
Redlining it.
My number 5 is Cadell Evans as well, Chiefy.
And we put him in the same spot. The moment you started reeling off all this information, I thought,
researched.
We're all over it.
However, I am going equal 5 top Australian sporting performances alongside, and you'll be nowhere near this one. Okay, I don't think you'll get this from the commentary. This one is close to my heart because I saw it live. And I think ones you see live have even more impact on you because you understand the crowd and the surrounding. Just a short bit of commentary. Out! Oh, down, no. We haven't seen everything, Haydos. We haven't. Now, the voice is New Zealand's Ian Smith.
Yeah.
And they are referring to a simple catch that should have been taken at short, fine leg, which would have meant this innings never took place. It was performed by Glenn Maxwell, who, in a World Cup match versus Afghanistan,
best innings I've ever seen.
201 not out of 128 balls. Now, people are going to come for me here, Chief, but I'll give you some stats and then I'll tell you
then we'll talk about the cramping and everything else.
The whole works. The stats don't do it justice. Afghanistan made 5 for 291. It's in Mumbai. Now, if you go to the Wangketi, it is hot as you would expect India to be.
Yep.
Maxi had bowled 10 overs. So 2 o'clock start. He'd bowled 10 overs in the heat of the day, which comes into the cramping. Everyone thinks the cramping's from the batting, but he'd bowled 10 overs, and you know the way he fields. He's sprinting around the outfield. So Afghanistan made 5 for 291. Maxi came in at 4 for 49.
That's the thing that people don't remember is how poorly the top order had batted, and we were gone.
Well, we'd lost to, I think, South Africa and New Zealand. We dropped this.
Yeah, and we're out.
We're out.
See you later. Pack your bags.
So we eventually go and win the World Cup. Now, if this innings is not played,
I'm with you.
I don't think we get there. So he comes in at 4 for 49. Australia are 7 for 91, Chief, chasing 291.
Yeah.
Maxi is out there for 181 minutes, so 3 hours. He strikes at 157. He was given out on 27, leg before wicket to Noor Ahmed, overturned on review. And then Mujeeb dropped him on 33.
Yeah.
The simplest catch you've ever seen. From there, Chief, he did not put a foot wrong. So I was in commentary when he brought up his 100, and then my stint was done. So I thought, I'm going to go down and sit behind the side screen and watch this and get an IFB and listen to Smithy calling it. Australia still had no hope at this stage. I'm thinking we're probably getting bundled out of the World Cup. He puts on, with Pat Cummins, 202.
Yeah, and how many's Pat make?
12.
Correct.
12 in the partnership,
Yeah.
Chief. Australia get home. But and I'll tell you what happened at the ground, but what are your memories of his physical condition?
Well, he went into full body cramp that many times. So the cramp started, and then it just started to get progressively worse. And I remember they did a special of it on Fox Cricket. I IQ'd it, so I've got it at home, and I've watched it multiple times to the point where I'm laughing. Because every time he moves, full body cramp. And he's walking like a stiff man. He's lying down. They can't do anything. He's taken every supplement you can possibly have. He's had a couple of breaks, but he's our only hope. So he doesn't have the option of going off. But every time he played a shot, he'd go into cramp. So in the end, he's standing there, just flicking with the wrists, and the ball's disappearing over the
And
fence.
it's clearing the rope.
Because he couldn't run, couldn't take. So he walked a single at one stage just to change ends so he could get down the other end.
To the point, Chief, Zampa came, there's big stairs at the Wankhedi to get down on the ground. Twice he came halfway down the stairs,
That's
which
right.
you probably saw one on the coverage, maybe not the other, thinking Maxi's cooked here.
Yeah.
But between, the thing that got me, Chief, between over breaks, which you don't necessarily see on the coverage, but I'm sitting there watching it, two things stand out in my mind. At the end of every over, he would sit down and Pat would walk all the way down to his end.
Yeah.
He couldn't even walk up.
Yeah.
And the other thing, this is a kid from Melbourne, and by the time he got to 130, a big crowd, so it's mainly people from Mumbai, they are chanting Maxwell's name for the last 40 minutes of that game because the crowd, the cricket-loving crowd of India, Chief, knew they were seeing something extraordinary. It is the best innings. I've seen
I agree.
Warner make
I agree.
triple centuries,
Yeah.
but best innings I've ever
People
seen.
will decry the quality of the opponent, but that doesn't understand the situation we were in and what was at stake. And I wondered through that innings, could he have been acutely aware mentally of what he was doing and how he was managing that innings, or was he just on sort of autopilot battling the cramp?
I think he was on autopilot because they got to a point where every ball went for 4 or 6.
Yeah, and he just see ball, hit ball. That's all I'm doing.
Won the game with a 6 to bring up the double 100.
Brilliant. I like it,
Righto,
Howie.
Cadell
I do
Evans,
like it.
so I've got a 5A and 5B, so I've broken the rules.
Straight away.
Okay, time for...
Number 4.
Touchdown's 4. Number 4.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be controversial.
Oh, is this your backstory one or not?
No.
Okay,
No.
this is controversial.
This will be a lot of people's number 1.
Okay.
So number 4.
Well, I could guess it, but I'm not going to. I'll let
At
you.
number 4, I have Kathy Freeman at the Sydney 2000 Olympics.
You may have to leave the studio. How can you put Catherine Freeman at 4? Geez, your 3 must be good.
They
at 2
are.
and 1.
They are good.
Okay.
They are good.
Okay, run me through it.
But here's the reason.
Yep.
So she'd won silver in 96, right?
Atlanta.
At Atlanta. She then won 2 world championships in 97 and 99, heading to the 2000 Olympics in Sydney. And the fact is, the woman that she had to beat,
Jose Marie Perec,
Jose Marie Perec,
the French lady.
had pulled out.
Yes. In a hail of cameras and media
Controversy.
at Sydney
yeah,
Airport.
all sorts of things.
So she won Atlanta.
Yes.
Marie Perec.
Yes.
Arrived as the big opponent and then
Something
left.
wasn't quite
No,
right.
she
Yeah,
wasn't
something
fit.
wasn't quite right. We didn't know what was going. And she didn't want to get beaten.
Yep.
And for that reason, I thought there were really only two chances, and then one pulled out.
Who was the other chance?
Kathy.
Right, so you
because
thought,
she was the
okay.
number one in the world had just won the last World Championship, 2 of the last 3. So she was cantering. But it was the pressure of a nation that she carried, the pressure of her Indigenous background. She was the talk of the entire Games. She lit the flame, the Olympic flame. She was given that honour, which was incredible for her. And then she chose to wear the full body suit, Howie. I don't know why. Because if you're trying to fly under the radar, that ain't the way to do it, is it?
It's not that because I don't think she wore it in the lead-ups, did she? I reckon it might have just come out for the final. I could be wrong there. I could be wrong there.
But then to be able to carry the weight of that pressure and just get the job done. But I think the reason I've got her at 4, I understand.
Four's good. Four's good.
I understand how significant the moment was and how iconic the call was and everything. I just thought we kind of expected her to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair call.
And she did. And she carried the weight of the pressure and she did.
What do you remember watching it?
Vaguely.
Well, okay.
Vaguely. But again, that same thing, she'll win.
Yep.
And she did.
It wasn't your point is really salient that it wasn't a shock surprise result.
No.
If she had... You remember when the Olympics you were at, Magnussen got beaten by Nathan Adrian as a red-hot favourite by 1/100th of a second in the men's 100-metre, and it was badged, as we do in this country, as a disappointment. I'd never thought of it that way, but if Catherine had won silver, it probably would have been seen as a disappointing result.
Correct.
Okay. I don't mind that. I reckon though.
I know she's coming up later for you, though.
You're going to get some strong feedback. Some strong feedback. Put it up on the board. So, Catherine Freeman in at number 4 for you, Chieftain. I enjoyed this. And again, we talked about this with TV shows. The amount of information on YouTube. I went and watched a lot of these events back. I'll quote you another piece of commentary, Chief, by one of my favourite commentators, who just simplifies things. He knows what he's going to say, but then just delivers it cleanly and crisply. I'm going to leave out the name. There it is, a life changer.
I assume he's an American caller?
It
kind of sounded like it. I think it was an American accent.
Me, and then I went American. There it is, was Australian. A life changer was American. This man that called it is an icon of American sports broadcasting. And he starts broadcasts with, "Hello, friends." And his name is Jim Nantz.
Oh, I love Jim Nantz too.
And he is calling, I'll put the name in
He
now.
calls all sports over
He does.
over the journey, has, yeah.
He's the voice of the NFL, and he's the voice of the Masters. There it is, Adam Scott, a life changer. So coming in at number 4 for me is the first Australian to ever wear the green jacket, Adam Scott. You don't give me much here. Okay, I think he might appear in yours at some point. I think he might get a run.
He might get a run,
Okay,
Howie.
so Chief, I was in the UK in the late 1990s and I was watching Greg Norman.
Don't get me started, Howie.
Chief, it was the first time, I'm not an advocate for betting on sport. It was the first time I've ever bet on a sport in my life. And I went down to I think it was the William Hill. And because I was in England, Greg Norman was 15s. And I backed Greg Norman to win the Masters. And he led by, was it 5 shots?
Let me take you through a true golf person growing up and how much I loved Greg Norman and how much we dreamt about the Masters. So you got to wind back. If you want to talk about the heartbreak of Greg Norman.
Yes.
You start in 1986.
Oh, you're not going with Myers. You're not going for the whole lot, are you?
You start in 1986.
Yep.
He bogeys the last to miss the playoff against Jack Nicklaus. Hands it to Jack.
Who wins at age whatever it is.
So then you go to 87 the next year.
Next year.
He's in a playoff. Larry Myers holes out an impossible chip that is going so far past the hole and he gets beat again.
It's missing the green.
Correct. Poop. And then 96, he leads Nick Faldo by 6 shots heading into the final round. Now, I got up to watch it, Howie.
I was watching it in the UK, Chieftain.
When they turned at the halfway mark, I went back to bed and turned it off because I could see the train wreck that was unfolding. and he lost by 5. So that was the background, the heartache of the Masters for Greg Norman and Australia.
And which is why you feed into Adam Scott. So I'm working in a pub in the UK watching Norman. It's called The Office. I'm getting £110 a week. And at the time, Chief, I'll never forget, there was a baked bean war on in the UK, and you could buy baked beans for 2p and a loaf of bread for about 50p. That's what I was sustaining. And I'm thinking...
Good cost of living for you. That's gold.
I'm thinking there's a big steak coming my way because the Sharks delivering at 15, Chief. And there was no steak. It was still baked beans. Hence, we get to Adam Scott.
Yeah.
So the remarkable thing about Adam Scott's win, so after the first round, he's shot 3 under, tied for 10th. After the second round...
Tough round, round 2.
So he shot par.
Correct, and made ground.
Yep. Went from 10 to 3. You're very well researched.
I'm across it, Howie.
Okay. The third round, again, he shoots 3 under. He's 6 under, tied for third.
Yeah,
but with
one shot behind.
But a couple of holes to go, leading...
Jason Day. Correct, 3 holes to go. Jason
what happened
Day
to Jason Day?
Bogeys 16 and 17.
Out of contention.
See you later.
So you might as well, since you seem relatively au fait with this story, Chief, so he gets into a playoff.
How does he get in the playoff, Howie?
By holing, what are you calling it? A
25-footer.
25-footer.
On 18
Big
for
putt.
birdie.
Big putt.
Yep.
So that gets him in against the Argentinian?
Well, actually, when he holds that putt, he's in front.
Yes.
And it could be his jacket.
He's got an arm in the jacket, Chief. He's got an arm in the
And
thing.
then Angel Cabrera hits it to this far.
That's right. Now, for those not watching, listening, Chief's going with it about 60 centimetres. They go to a playoff.
Yep.
I am in raptures at home watching this, but I am scarred from Norman. I'm a positive dude. I'm thinking Scotty's got no hope. I think he's going down the same slippery slope. So they start on 18, both pars.
Yep. Scrambled pars.
We get to the second playoff hole on 10. They both hit the green. Cabrera misses his putt. Adam Scott has a 15-foot for birdie.
Cabrera hit a good putt too.
He hit a good putt that was online.
Yeah.
15-footer. There it is. Adam Scott, a life changer.
Yeah,
What's
good.
your... My main memory is when he's put the jacket on and it's dark because it went to the playoff and you can see all the flashes popping.
Yeah. No, for me, it was more the internal realisation that an Australian had won the Masters, something that I wasn't sure was ever going to happen after what we'd been through with Norman.
And Ian Baker Finch was in commentary as well, which was absolutely
And don't forget, Mark Leishman was right there on the last day as well. Leishman and Day were tied for 4th while Scott was 3rd. I mean, it was an Aussie day. We just didn't know how it would unfold. But I had in the back of my mind, these 3 Aussies are all going to get stitched and we still won't win it.
Do you remember the Leishman reaction when he is playing it?
Yes.
Chief, run the people through that again. You seem reasonably
I don't want to steal all your thunder. Please go.
Scott holds a putt and Leishman is in the middle of a Masters and had been in a position to win it himself. And in the background of this shot, you see Leish with the old Brett Lee chainsaw to celebrate for his great mate.
Which shows you how much it meant to all of Australia.
Yes.
This was an Australian thing. We needed an Australian to win the Masters. That was what it was all about.
And came on the podcast on episode 100, Chief, and talked about the fact that you get the green jacket for 1 year.
Yeah.
And he would do things like when his mates were coming around for a beer, he'd just leave the green jacket casually placed over the back of the couch and his mates would walk in. Oh, sorry, boys, I forgot to put my jacket away.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Good fella, Scotty. He's
Okay,
a really
great
good
fella. So Adam Scott and Chief seem pretty well researched. But now we get to number 3.
Right.
1, 2, 3. Number 3.
Okay.
Now I need you to come with me here.
Oh, I'm coming.
Come with me. I'm going to tell a story.
That doesn't sound like Adam Scott.
No, I'm going to tell you a story here.
Okay, I'm all ears, Chief. This is your background story.
Yeah, we're going back to the 1968 Olympics in Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
There's an Australian by the name of Peter Norman. He wins the silver medal in the men's 200 metres. He sets an Oceania record, which lasts for about 56 years, I think it was. He runs 20:06, remembering that how many years after that, it's 1919 now by Usain Bolt. But it's the story that arose out of this that is far bigger than any sporting event that there has ever been. So if you remember at the time, there was a lot of racial tension and unrest in the United States of America. So there were two other athletes in that race. There was Tommy Smith and John Carlos, who came first and third. Peter Norman came second.
Where were they from?
They were from America, and they were African Americans. So they told Peter Norman, and this is where you have to come with me.
Mm-hmm.
They told him what they were going to do on the dais. They were going to make a Black Power salute. And they said, this is the bit that I love. It was John Carlos that when he said to Peter Norman, he said, A, do you believe in human rights? And B, do you believe in God?
This is what he asked Peter Norman.
Yeah, and he said yes to both.
This is before the presentation.
Yeah, and they told him what they were going to do and then said, will you support us? And he said, he was quoted saying, I expected to see fear in his eyes. I saw nothing but love.
Wow.
This is extraordinary. So fast forward, we get to the medal presentation. And if you remember that iconic pose where they've got the one hand raised with the black glove on,
Yep.
the Black Power salute. So they were supposed to both wear a pair of black gloves. John Carlos forgot his pair of gloves, so they only had two. So it was Peter Norman that suggested to them, split them and wear one each.
That was Norman's
That
suggestion.
was Norman's suggestion.
Iconic photo.
He also borrowed a human rights badge from a US rower, a white rower who was very cognizant of human rights and what was going wrong. And he wore that in support of them on the dais at the medal
Norman
presentation.
wore the badge.
Norman wore the human rights badge. Now, it's the wash-up of this that you need to understand. So because of his support for that, and this is 1968, understand, Peter Norman returned home to Australia a pariah.
So it was seen as a negative in Australia.
It was seen as a negative. So he was outcast in the athletic world back home. All his state funding and coaching support disappeared. Never picked for the Olympics again, despite the following Olympics on 3 occasions hitting the qualifying mark.
So there was a blanket ban on him.
Not invited to any events, including the Sydney 2000 Olympics in Sydney. Not invited.
In the year 2000?
It went for his whole life. The bias and the unofficial sanction against him.
So when did it become celebrated as one of the...
I'll tell you.
Okay.
So they didn't even invite him to the Sydney 2000 Olympics.
32 years later.
The US Olympic Committee flies him he was up in Brisbane, flies him to Sydney for the Olympics as their guest of honour.
The Americans did.
The Americans did. Extraordinary. He dies in 2006, still a pariah. Tommy Smith and John Carlos serve as pallbearers at the funeral. In 2012, there is a government apology, a parliamentary apology. And then off the back of that, it was he was awarded an Order of Merit posthumously by the AOC. And that to me is the quintessential example of something just completely transcending sport. A story that just came from nowhere.
I love the story, and I love that you've put him at number 3. I was under the misconception that he would have been celebrated throughout his whole life.
You'd
for
like to
doing
think
that.
so, wouldn't you? Yeah.
So Peter Norman goes in at 3.
Yep.
I can't argue, Chief.
Outcast for the rest of his life for supporting human rights back in 1968.
I like where you've gone. I like the way you've told the story too. I think we need more Chief story time.
Left field, isn't
No,
it?
but it was put him on your board. Put him on your board. You've captured me with that one. You've captured me with that one. I can see why it would be high. I honestly thought that, presumed that he would have been celebrated from that moment on for the rest of his
Yep.
life. Okay. So Cadell Evans, Kathy Freeman and Peter Norman.
I was actually angry researching that
Yeah.
story.
You did a fair bit of research too. Okay. My number 3. And equate with another commentary line. In isolation, this is as bad a job as you could do in sports commentary. And you're looking at me like that. But due to the moment, it works. It is talking all over the top of the main commentator. So I'm going to quote you back the special comments man. Like, in isolation, he has broken every rule in sports commentary in the space of 10 seconds. But because of the moment, it's iconic and it works. He mentions a name that He'd just randomly throw this name in, at which point you'll probably get it. But there was no cognizant thought. His thoughts were just spewing out his mind. This is number 3, big Australian sporting performances. Are you ready for this? This is extraordinary commentary. I got to get a bit of energy about it, okay?
Is there an accent?
No accent this time. Here we go. Go on, my son, go on! Come on, Australia! Johnny Warren! Go on, my son! Makes no sense. Have you got the moment?
Well, I assume it's John Aloisi's penalty.
It is John Aloisi's penalty. And that was Craig Foster.
Right, gotcha.
Simon Hill is doing it. Australia's on the way to the World Cup.
Yep.
And he's just randomly dropped in Johnny Warren in the midst of it. Again, I was at this event. It's probably the last sporting event almost, Chief, that I've been to that I wasn't working at.
Yeah, the moment being there would have carried so much extra weight.
Bit of backstory, and then I'll tell you about the moments in the crowd that I can remember. So we as we so often did in the Oceania group, we had to end up playing the 5th place South American qualifier.
Yep.
So the first 4 South Americans
Who normally
got
gives
through.
us a touch-up.
Yeah, normally gives us So the previous World Cup, it was Uruguay, and Muscat scored a penalty at the MCG in 2001. Then we went to Montevideo, Chief. Talking about backstories. It was outrageous what our Uruguayan brothers did. They sat up outside the hotel. They were beating drums all night. It was an aggressive scene at the airport. If you go back and look at the airport scenes, players reported being spat on by our Uruguayan brothers, who then went out in front of 100,000, towed us up 3-0. They went to the World Cup, and again, the Socceroos missed out. Now we fast forward, Chief. We fast forward 4 years later. We go to Uruguay. And again, our brothers in Montevideo, they're pretty aggressive.
Take your earmuffs.
Take your earmuffs. But we get out of it with a 1-0 loss. And we come back to the Olympic Stadium once again, where you were talking about Kathy Freeman. Australia scores. This is the golden generation of the Socceroos. The names you know, Schwarzer, Kuhl, Bresciano, Aloisi, Kale. Viduka. Who missed a penalty.
He did too.
Like
the one that caused problems.
Chief, he nearly stubbed his toe, the big V bomber. So it goes to penalties. Schwartz is the hero. He saves 2 penalties.
Yeah, he does too.
At the 9th penalty, they are so scrambled in the commentary box. Simon Hill was talking about, okay, if Australia score here, they go to the World Cup. And your man that I mentioned earlier on, Craig Foster, he's that scrambled in the brain. He's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? He's questioning him whether this is the penalty. And he says, yes, no, this is the one. Aloisi scores. They lose their mind. I cut to the crowd, Chief. I'm there with 4 or 5 mates. And I've never randomly hugged strangers like I did that night, Chief. It was...
Glad I wasn't there.
Oh, Chief, I would have given you a big Howie hug. To the point where my main memory is 45 minutes after the game finished, that they made an announcement around the stadium, if you do not leave the stadium now, public transport will have closed for the evening because no one wanted to leave. So Australia hadn't qualified for the World Cup since, was it 76? I could have that wrong. We need a fact check there from MJ.
It was 32 years since they'd been to the World Cup.
Pretty close. No, 74.
Because I did a little bit of research on this one.
74, maybe. 74. So for me, Aloisi and that moment, go back and listen to the commentary. He comes in at number 3, Johnny Aloisi.
I did consider this.
Okay.
I didn't end up making my cut, but I did
For any
like
particular reason? It was an outpouring of emotion.
Yeah, and I think the fact that you were there heightens your awareness of exactly what happened on the night too. And it was incredible. I get that. But when you get down to the quality of performances we're talking about, some just miss out.
Exactly.
They have to.
Exactly.
They have to.
The Big Five.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah, again.
I'm getting interested where you're going now.
Yeah. Well, I'm going back to Sydney 2000.
Now I'm fascinated by what your number 1 is. So you're going back to the Olympic cauldron.
Yes, and I'm going into the pool.
Into the pool.
I want to set this up for you, Howie. We had 4 gentlemen by the name of Michael Klim, Chris Feidler, Ashley Callis, and Ian Thorpe swimming in the men's 4x100 metre final.
Can I start strumming my guitar?
Yes.
Can I smash me guitar, Chief?
Is this a good enough story,
Yes,
Howie?
this is, Chief.
You don't tell me it's...
No,
don't
I'm not
tell me
saying
it's
anything.
Right up
I'm
there
not
for you.
saying anything.
So we need to put it in perspective. So it's the men's 4x100 metre freestyle relay. The US have never lost this event at the Olympics, period.
Ever.
Ever. They've owned it. The current US 4x100 team owns the world record. Gary Hall Jr.
He of the smashing guitars,
yes,
Chief.
the unofficial spokesperson for the US team
Very
said,
unofficial.
we are going to smash the Australians like guitars.
Yes, Chieftain.
I could not believe it. I mean, smash them like guitars. So back in the old rock concerts where a guitarist would smash his guitar on the stage.
Yes.
That's what he said. So we get to the final. Michael Klim swims the first leg. He breaks the world record for 100 metres freestyle in the first leg of the relay.
Did he?
The individual world record is broken by Michael Klim in the first leg of the relay
This I did not know, Chief.
to get us to the lead.
So we lead at the first.
So we
obviously
lead.
we do. We broke the world record.
We lead by about a body length.
Good lead.
Then the next two legs of Feidler and Callis, they maintain a slight lead of just under a body length. We get to the last leg.
Who's swimming?
Ian Thorpe, who's not a 100-metre swimmer,
In the suit?
in the suit against
Not the guitar man.
Gary
Oh,
Hall
come on, Gary.
Jr.
Come on, Gary.
2 laps of the 50-metre pool. First lap up, Hall goes straight past Thorpe. Straight past him in the first lap. Turns a body length in front.
No.
A body length in front after being almost a body length behind at the start in the space of 50 metres.
But wait.
And Thorpe just swimming slow strokes and Hall's thrashing.
He was a slow stroker.
Yes,
Thorpe.
but he just glided through the water. Well, he continued the slow stroking. It got a tiny bit quicker. And then he surged back over the top of Gary Hall Jr. to win it. Not only did they win it and defeat the Americans who had never lost, they took their world record away from them. And then what did the boys do?
They got on the
Up
pool deck.
On the pool
What did
deck,
they do, Chief?
They started playing air guitar, Howie. It was the best. It was amazing. That story made that event something incredible for me.
Oh, you've got me goosebumped. You've got me. I can't argue. It's not in mine. And now I'm starting to think about what I have put in. I love it because of the emotion of it. And the guitar story, if Gary Hall doesn't do that, it's amazing but not iconic.
Yep.
But I think what he did and the way he described it makes it iconic, doesn't it?
100%. That story just made it everything it needed to be.
I didn't know it was the first time they'd been beaten.
So, mate, they had never been beaten at Olympic level. That was just a walk-up start gold medal for the US.
Okay. We get to my number 2. I'm confident about this. I'm going niche, though.
Ooh, I like it.
Niche. Once again, the competitor that Australia had to beat had never been beaten. Ever.
Now, I think I know this already. And I had it in, but it got squeezed out. Are you talking about a 132-year stranglehold on something?
I am, Chief.
From the New York Yacht Club?
What's the
On
stranglehold?
the America's
It
Cup?
is, Chief.
Yes! And the winged keel.
The wing keel.
I wanted to put it in, but it was just because it was such a
Niche.
niche sport with a smaller field, I guess, of... it's a difficult one to put in perspective, but the enormity is not lost on me.
So some iconic moments. From 1851, for 132 years, the Americans had won what became the America's Cup
Yep.
with 26 successful defences.
Yep.
And they didn't just defend them. It was best of 7.
They won it for fun.
Yeah, they won it for fun. They'd knock blokes over 4-0, 3-1. They dominated. So Australia has a mathematical genius.
See, this is the reason probably why it got squeezed out for me, is because it wasn't necessarily a level playing field.
But the sport itself, like Formula One, is about technological advancement.
It is, but Formula One now is highly regulated. When you can bring in a winged keel, it's not
Chief.
quite as highly regulated, Howie.
So your mad Professor Benny
Yep.
Lexon designs
Yep.
a wing keel. I'm not going to try and start saying what it does, but apparently it makes your boat faster. In the right conditions.
Yep.
Got to be the right conditions.
Yeah.
So John Bertrand, one of the great Australians,
Yes.
goes over there. There's several iconic parts. They would never refer to. It was a beautiful boat. The Americans, it was called Liberty.
Yep.
And it was the all red hull.
Yep.
It was a beautiful boat.
They're all beautiful craft,
They are.
aren't they?
They
I mean,
are.
Look at them.
They've lost me now with the technology's gone too far with the catamarans
Yeah.
and this is your old school 12-metre boats, I think they're referred to. So they would not refer to the Americans or Liberty. They would just, from a mental perspective, I think they were ahead of their time from a sports psychology perspective.
Yeah.
They would just refer to it as the red boat. So they gave it no credence. They gave it no history. They gave it no, this is the top of the mountain. It's just the red boat we're trying to beat. Connor was obviously a man that knew the rules and knew how to exploit them, Chief. So he was the bad guy in this. Liberty win the first two races.
Yep.
She's job done. Then Australia could have been for the first time ever won a race in the final. So it goes 2-1. Then Liberty win again. So the Americans lead 3-1. They're one win away. Australia come home. Bang, bang, bang with the last three. The iconic moments, the song, Chief.
Yep.
So every time as they pull out of Newport, Rhode Island, they play Land Down Under, which becomes a huge song.
Yeah.
They pull up the boxing kangaroo flag. That is purely linked to Australia too. And on the 26th of September 1983, Rob Mundell, I believe it is, goes, "Stand up." Pretty old school commentary back then. It wasn't Craig Foster. "Stand up. They have done it. They have done it." And Bob Hawke famously, that's the other iconic moment, Chief. Bob Hawke, I reckon it's early in the morning because I remember my old man, Ian Howard, loves to sail. So he had me up watching it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was 7:30 in the morning. I reckon Bob Hawke's 15 schooners in.
He was partial to an ale, Bob, wasn't he?
He was. He had the white jacket with the Australian flags all over it and famously said along the lines of, and I should have written this down, but I didn't, but it's almost imprinted on my mind, any boss who sacks his worker
That's right.
for not turning up today is a bum. Iconic. So there's so many iconic moments, which is why the crew of Australia 2, led by John Bertrand,
And the wing keel.
and the wing keel, and Betty Lexon, is number 2 for me. So you thought about it. Was it too niche, or was you're not happy with the legality of the wing keel?
Yeah, it's just a little bit too, niche, the right word, too.
But it was badged at the time that Australia was a country in 1983 finding its way in what was beginning to be a revolution of information and technology.
Yep.
And this was badged, if we can compete with the Americans in this high-tech sport, we can compete with the world.
Yep.
Which I thought was cool.
Yeah. No, very good. Very good.
Now, in some of our big fives, we've done the worst.
Yeah. Well, how can you have a worse?
We can't.
No.
Which means it is time for...
Chiefs number 1.
I feel like there's a lack of pop for our number ones, Howie, because I think we're both across them.
Well, I think we probably are across them. I think yours is going to involve a jacket, Chief.
It is the green jacket. It is Adam Scott. It had to be.
Why above all the others is the simple question. Like, you've rated Cadell Evans, Kathy Freeman, Peter Norman with that amazing story, the smashing of guitars.
Yeah.
Why is Adam Scott above that?
I guess I was really into golf at the time. We're talking about an event that first began in 1934, and no Aussie had won it. And our best Aussie had come agonisingly close 3 times and had it ripped away from him on 2 occasions, and then once he blew it himself, or he probably blew it himself twice. And I just thought it was getting further away. And then all of a sudden we get 3 young players that come in and start to compete on the world stage and look really, really good. And to do it with the putt that he holed, I mean, the moment around it, forget Steve Williams as the caddy for a moment. He takes far too much credit, Steve.
He claimed it
Far
pretty
too
much.
much
Claimed the
credit.
Masters victory himself.
Yeah.
Come on, Steve.
To do it, against the field that he did it against, this is when everyone is there. All the guns are there. I just found it special. So
I can't argue.
You're right. I could have.
I can't argue.
You could put him in any order, Howie.
No, but I'm
You had him
interested
at 4. I got him at 1.
I'm interested why he was your 1. It's a good explanation.
I just loved the Masters. It was an iconic event, but they're all iconic events. And the thing that I had at number 4, the person I had at number 4, I have a feeling might be your number 1, Harry.
Well, you put Scotty up there. It is time for...
Number
1.
Number 1.
We're number 1.
Howie's number 1.
September 25, Chief, the year 2000. The time is 8:10 p.m.
What was that day called?
September 25. I don't know. What was it?
They called it something. I remember.
MJ might have an idea from the tally room.
Was it Magical Monday?
Magical Monday, that's it.
Tatiana Grigorieva was jumping in the pole vault.
Got silver?
Silver.
Yeah.
Did Michael Johnson run that night? I think he may have.
I couldn't remember.
I think he
Couldn't tell
may
you.
have.
Would they have had the women's and men's same event on the same
I-
night? Or 200 or 400 for MJ?
We'll have to ask MJ again here, our MJ, not the Michael Johnson straightbacker, who won a couple of gold medals. So 49 seconds and 11 100 later, Kathy Freeman in front of 112,574 people, of which, Chief, I'm one, which we'll get to, wins the Olympic gold medal.
There's a heavy bias towards events you were actually at. And you've had the
absolutely.
privilege of being at these events.
There's no, and I'll tell you how I got there. So, yeah, I saw Maxi, I saw Aloisi, and I saw Kathy Freeman through nefarious means. It'd be 32 years since Australia won a gold in track and field, which is, again, we go back to Mexico. Ralph, I'm not sure the pronunciation.
Dubel. Yep.
Who won the 800 metres in Mexico.
That's right.
Kathy came on the show and talked about, she's the first athlete I've heard use the term pressure is a privilege. So she embraced the pressure of the nation. People remember what happened. So I'll give you my personal experience. And that's why it is number 1, because I saw it live and it was a magical warm night. I was working, Chief, as an assistant director on indoor Olympic volleyball. I'd come back from Formula One and I snagged a job. And I can clearly remember they said, I came back from the Formula One because I wanted to work on the Olympics, and I got a letter from SOBO, the Sydney Olympic Broadcasting Organisation, and they said it's $100 a day. Chief, I don't like to swear too much on this show. Well, let's say stuff all. I had stuff all in the bank account, and it was $100 a day, and I thought that was brilliant. And they rang me and they said, "Are you happy with the terms?" I got this phone call. It was 2000. I'm 25. Yeah, I'm happy with 100. And they said, that's the per diems. It's actually 400 a day plus the per diems. Then I'm going, Chief, this Olympics runs for 3 weeks at 500 a day. This is good wedge. That's where I'm coming from. So the volleyball was one of the great sports. It was only 2 games a day, 10 o'clock and midday. And if you got what they call a triple bagel, Chief, which is a 3-set win, you're out the door at 1 p.m.
Just watching.
Well, you don't have the credentials, Chief.
To get into the events. I had the problem in London, but we found ways.
Well, as a sneaky young man, I found ways to go to a lot of events.
Yep.
But Freeman was a lockout. So my approach would typically be find the oldest member of those on the gate and just flash up the volleyball card, it was before scanners, and walk through. So I'd pick my victims, Chief, and I tried 3 times and got rejected because it was extra security.
Excellent. Get that bum out of here.
I'm leaving, Chief, thinking I'm not going to see this historic moment. And I see a bloke working for, I think it's Clean Event, and he's bringing bins out of the stadium.
Don't tell me you grabbed a bin.
No, I didn't grab a bin. But what he did, he had a handful of wheelie bins and he left one to prop this little door open while he took the others outside, Chief. Like
Slipped
a
in.
freaking rat up a drain pipe, Chief, I was in. And then once you're in, all they did was look at your credentials, saw media, and continued to direct you further and further and further into the stadium.
Yeah.
To the point, I watch Freeman and Tatiana, 3 rows back from the finish line, surrounded by photographers with your big zoom lenses. I've got my little happy snapper, of which I tried to take a shot of Freeman, and there's only her leg in shot because she was too fast for me. But to see her win and see because I didn't hear the commentary or anything, obviously, and you don't really know in the stadium. Talking to her about it, she said, like you did, that she always had the racing control. But Bruce says along the lines of Freeman needs to go, Freeman needs to lift, whatever he says.
She just cruised through the first half.
But when she's 120 metres away from the finish line, I'm thinking she might not win here. which you didn't have that experience. You
No.
always had that confidence. But because I was at the stadium, there was a moment where I thought Freeman's not going to win.
Yeah.
So for me, Freeman
Number one.
is number one. Number one. Been some good storytelling on this one.
You spaced the letters well on that, didn't you?
Well, you did talk about my writing in episode 1 with the movies, which was illegible. So that's ours. So we need Cass in here to give us the audience vote, Chief.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
all-important audience
There's
vote.
a few of mine that won't be anywhere near it, but that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
so you get the number 1, Chief.
That's
Oh,
okay.
here we go. Oh, now Cass's writing is beautiful.
I suspect Kathy would be number one. I think you'll get joy there.
Okay, no peeking. Okay, Chief. Coming in at number 5 with 7.1% of the vote, someone we have not even
Mentioned.
mentioned. Not even
sport?
in the apologies. It's an Olympic sport, but it's winters.
Oh, okay. Tora Bright.
No.
Not Stephen Bradbury.
Stephen Bradbury.
Now, see,
Beating Apollo Anton Ono.
they all fell over.
I'm with you, Chief.
They all fell over.
I'm with you.
I get that you had to qualify for the final, and he did win it, and it was brilliant. It's an iconic moment, but I couldn't have that above these performances. That's all. And look, credit to Stephen Bradbury.
I thought about Elisa Camplin, who was the second ever gold medalist
Yep.
because it was a night after Stephen Bradbury.
Yeah.
But the audience is not wrong. No one's wrong, Chief.
No.
But okay. Coming in at number 4 with 14.3% of the vote, Aloisi in the
Johnny Aloisi,
2006
yep.
World Cup. Johnny Aloisi coming in.
You know, we didn't win anything, right?
No,
I'm just clarifying. Didn't win anything.
we got into the tournament basically.
Yes, but we didn't win.
No, we
anything.
didn't. We didn't. Coming in at number 3, someone we both had in our list with 16.7% of the vote, so just in front of the Socceroos, was the boy from Bowen Heads, Cadell Evans.
Cadell Evans, right?
We're both in agreement with that.
Beautiful.
Coming in at number 2 with 21.4% of the vote, a performance I had in, but you didn't,
The America's Cup.
the America's Cup. So we'll put this up here so everyone on the tube can watch it. Chief, you have the great honour, of announcing the number 1
You're going to have to hold it because that's
I
not
will,
going to stand.
Australian sporting moment of all time as voted by we're at now 4,712 entries.
Yeah, and the top 5 just shows how in touch you are with the common person.
Okay.
Or how very common you are.
Oh, Kathy Freeman comes
It's
in
always going to be
at
there.
number 1 with 38.1% of the vote.
Yeah. And I figured that would be the case.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But you know what, Howie? I'm not going by
No.
public opinion.
I
I'm
liked,
going by what's inside me and what I like.
I liked your explanation. Best quotes about number 1, Kathy Freeman. A respondent by the name of Black Caviar. The pressure of the nation, home soil, fierce rival in Perec.
The Preg didn't run.
No. Cameron Collett
Just clarifying.
from Talai in Queensland. The pressure was just so immense on so many levels, and she
Yeah.
delivered. Alex from Thornbury.
Agree.
I've only come to appreciate how special, enormous, and momentous this race was in the last decade or so. Amazing to think the whole country was on her shoulders and riding her to victory with the whole world watching.
Brilliant.
And Jack from Bendigo to deliver under the pressure of an entire nation at her home Olympics wins this every day of the
Can't
week.
argue with any of that. That's okay.
Chief, I enjoyed it immensely. I had an outlier in Maxwell. You had an outlier in Peter Norman. I'd be happy with either list. But MJ, as always,
There's only one winner here.
has the final say. MJ's been favouring you, it must be said. From the tally room, are you there, MJ?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm calling in. I think the only moment that you've missed that came 6th actually, so didn't quite make the whiteboard was Kieran Perkins.
I had
in
that too
Atlanta
in 96.
from
I had
lane
that.
8.
Lane out.
Except we knew he had won it before.
Yeah.
So we knew he had it in him.
Yep.
Even though he was battling sickness and only just scraped in qualifying. I did consider that. Just didn't. But again, some have got to miss out.
It would have been a brilliant performance,
Yep.
but in the brutal light of day, he butchered the semi-final, Chief, which is why he was in lane 8. All right, MJ, continue.
Now, look, this could be a little bit controversial. How you were very in tune with what the audience voted. It was almost matching your top 5.
Yes, thank you.
But out here, Chief's description of Peter Norman gave Cass goosebumps. So I'm going to have to give the win to Chief. It was a goosebumps-inducing moment.
You've got to go off Broadway, Howie. You've got to look for things that are meaningful. That's a bit harsh.
MJ, do you actually understand who pays your wage or not?
I'm just saying, none of yours provided goosebumps, whereas the Peter Norman
piss off
story,
in the
there were
tally room.
visible goosebumps out here.
Oh, well done, Chief. Okay, we always finish this show with my favourite part, the same way, where you sign off
Yes.
to those that have been listening
Yep.
with the statement,
P&L.
no, Chief, it's not enough.
Can't abbreviate?
No.
Peace and love.
Yes.
There we go.
The Big Five.